Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of News You Can Use. I'm Ann Baldwin. Well, one of the most important things that I learned in running my own business is the importance of cash management. And one way to grasp the importance of cash management is to view cash as your most important resource. And to talk more about that today, I want to welcome Christina Brown, Cash Management Officer of Simsbury Bank, to talk just about that. And again, as a business owner, as a consumer, explain to us, Christina, what is cash management as it applies to banking?
Well, thank you, Ann, for having me. Cash management is basically a suite of products and services that are generally tailored to businesses to help them maximize their cash flow.
Okay, and so briefly describe what some of those might be. I mean, I know the obvious ones, like as a business, being able to utilize a cash deposit box, you know, just business checks and things like that.
Right.
But I know that this also, cash management is it's evolving, and it has to because of businesses growing and technology.
Yep.
So what are some of the new things that, for example, at Simsbury Bank that you offer businesses with cash management?
Right. The most popular option that we have right now is what we call a remote deposit capture. And basically that's a machine that the businesses keep in-house, and they scan all of their checks right there, so they don't have to create a deposit ticket and actually go to the bank. So they can do everything in-house. So it's really taking a hold of the technology. Another option on the same front is merchant capture processing, where again you can have a terminal in-house where customers can take payments such as credit cards right in their business. But the great thing with that is you can also do it on a smartphone, so you can be out at a trade show or what have you and take payments right there.
You know, it's interesting. I've been out at a lot of the fairs, you know, in Connecticut, and I love going to the little craft fairs and things, and people actually have that ability. These are vendors, but I look at them as businesses who have that ability because they can do it right there on their phone.
Right.
And it's safe and secure.
Yep.
That's the important part, right?
Exactly. The most important part.
Any other components of that, or are those really kind of the highlighted ones?
There's also payroll processing, which encompasses a lot more than just payroll. It can help you do taxes, HR, also time and attendance management, which is a great feature. So those are some of the main ones. We also offer ACH, lockbox services, domestic wires, pretty much everything that includes electronic and paper management. We're here to help for that.
Well, and you know, one of the things that I don't know, it's not necessarily a good use of somebody's time to be doing these things in my office. So if I know that my bank can do that, and especially my community bank can do that, it just takes, and that gives me time to do what I should be doing, and that's, you know, maintaining and growing my business. Now, does this also have advantages when it comes to cash management and collecting revenue?
It does. Cash management services are there to help speed up the revenue collection process. So for example, with the ACH module, you can not only pay your bills faster, but you can also take money from the vendors that owe you money. So you don't have to go through the paper process of invoicing, waiting for checks to come through, waiting for that money to clear. It's just immediately there for you.
But I would assume that the vendor has to sign off on the fact that, yes, you can take those funds.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
So there are checks and balances. I mean, it sounds like the bank has those things in place.
Oh, yes.
So that you still have peace of mind that everything is still safe and secure, because let's face it, that's a big concern of a lot of people out there with a lot of the things that have happened.
I agree.
Okay, so if people want to know more about, you know, cash management services offered by Simsbury Bank, where can they get that information?
Well, they can call any of our local branches. They can go to our website. All that information is out there for everyone to review, and you know, of course, anybody will be able to answer those questions for them.
And the website we should mention is simsburybank.com.
Yep.
Now, one of the things too that I know from my personal experience that helps me when it comes to cash management is because, let's say it's tax time, or let's say you go through that unfortunate notice that you're going to be audited. So organizationally, and an financial organization of a business is really key. And I would assume that a lot of the tools, whether it's the ACH, you know, the business sweep accounts, domestic, international, you know, transfers, all those kinds of things, just kind of help you know that it's all in one spot.
Right. With, like you said, with taxes and audits, with Simsbury Bank's cash management suite, we offer great tools for customers to stay organized. They can view transaction history and balances, but also structure it where they can view expenses and deposits. And another great tool we offer is where you can export to any financial software that you may be using. So for example, if a business is using QuickBooks, they can just export all that information over and it can be uploaded, so when their CPA comes around, they have all their information ready to go.
Wow, that's amazing. And you know, that's something that I wasn't aware of. That so it doesn't mean if you've already got internal systems, a lot of what you do is compatible with what you already have existing. Right. So that is fantastic. So give me an example of some of the types of customers that take you know, advantage of these services, cash management services.
Well, really, it could be any size business. It can be the small mom and pop convenience store right around the corner, and you know, these days everyone carries plastic and they need a tool to be able to accept that. So again, the merchant processing would be a great tool for them. You can also be a very large business such as a doctor's office where you have a lot of patients and lots of checks coming in, and you already have sensitive information enough being a doctor's office, so to include the banking in there is pretty hard. So we would offer them the lockbox service where it's a secure outside source where all their checks are processed and they still get a detailed list of everything that comes and goes, so they can still keep track of it, but they're focusing on their patients as opposed to worrying about the banking.
Wow, it's not as cumbersome. And I understand too that, especially, you know, at Simsbury Bank, that, you know, these are the services that you offer now, but you're always looking, and part of your job is to be looking at innovations and what's next in the future of banking. I mean, if we just think back 10 years from now, look at all that has changed. You know, the good old-fashioned days, but there's also something, even like a Simsbury Bank, where you still can walk into that bank and you know the name of that teller, and you still get that, you know, that community service that people are accustomed to. So this doesn't replace that. No,
no. We at Simsbury Bank, we tailor our suite of products to as much or as little as they need. So if they want a lot of help from us, we're happy to be there. We have plenty of knowledgeable associates in every department that are able to help, or if they just want to come in and make their deposits on a weekend, then that's fine with us too.
Great. Well, we have just a couple of minutes left, not even that. Anything else that you wanted to talk about that I didn't get to?
Just, you know, that Simsbury Bank, we are very customer oriented and focused. So as I said, I just would like to reiterate that we do tailor our suite of products to any size customer. So whether they're small or large, don't feel as if you don't qualify.
Right.
Come to us and we would be happy to put a plan together, a proposal, and see what we can do to make them work.
Right. Yeah. Every customer matters.
Right. We want them to be profitable because it only benefits the both of us. You know, if they're doing good, then we want to see them succeed.
Great. Great information. Thank you very much. Christina Brown of Simsbury Bank, I want to thank you so much for joining us, as this truly was, again, news you can use. And as we mentioned earlier, if you want to know more about cash management and accessing professionals who can help you with that, you can go to Simsbury Bank's website, simsburybank.com. Thanks again for watching this edition of News You Can Use. We'll see you next time. I'm Ann Baldwin. Yay, you did it.